Hey, everybody, welcome to the Jim Master Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. How are you guys doing? It's so nice to see all your smiley faces. Got a little nice hot cup of Java here. Kind, generous, supportive you. That's you and you and you and you. All of our faithful lovities, our followers, those who view and watch and support what we're doing here, our entertainment lifestyle talk show series, we call the Jim Master Show live, beaming all across the globe with entertainment and great poignant conversations, lots of light, love, levity, and our famous JMS Levity as well, which you guys love so much. Phenomenal guests who come from all around the world. Matter of fact, our guest, Ajay Mathur, is coming live and direct from Switzerland. He's an internationally acclaimed, Grammy-nominated singer, songwriter, musician extraordinaire. Wait till you see the beautiful backdrop. You think you like what we have here on set with our studio for our show? He's got this breathtaking backdrop at his home in Switzerland. He hails initially from India, but he makes his home in beautiful Switzerland. You may remember we've had guests from Switzerland too. Sir James Galway and Lady Jean Galway were on not that long ago, live from Switzerland, and they played live for us as well. But again, we just want to toast all of you, kind, generous, supportive you. Thanks for watching, supporting, celebrating, sharing, raving about the Jim Master Show Live, our entertainment lifestyle talk show series that we started almost 2 years ago and some 650 episodes ago. Just about, we're inching closer and closer to that every day. And thanks to all of the tweets and Instagram messages and private Facebook messages and direct emails that you've been sending us, all that love, telling us how much the show means to you, our series. We're on just about every single day, just about. And all the comments you've been leaving under every episode on our YouTube channel. We thank you immensely. Matter of fact, this came from one of our viewers in Nova Scotia. I believe this came from Karen Campbell Green. Nice. But by the time I'm done with this, you know how it works. It's hot coffee now, but by the time I'm done, it'll be ice cold. So I'll put an ice cube in it. We just lay it nicely down here. How's everybody doing today? It's so nice to see all your smiley faces from all around the world. I am your host, Jim Masters. It is a real pleasure to have you here. We welcome our JMS Levity Squad. That's the real faithful, those who watch and support and share and celebrate. They share the links to our episodes on their social media. And we just have a good time with everybody. If this is your first time joining us here on our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series, well, thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate it and continue to enjoy all these episodes. You can also binge watch the episodes as well. If there's episodes that you'd like to see from the past, there are many of them for you to peruse and enjoy and binge. Just go right there on our YouTube channel and scroll through, and you can see all these great episodes. Matter of fact, if you would like to comment live while the show is live, you can do that here on our actual broadcast as it's happening now live. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Jim Masters TV, that's the channel you're watching right now. It's a special gift to subscribers, the ability to subscribe, but also to chat live during the broadcast itself. So a lot of our guests and our viewers love to chat, and our viewers right now, our Levity Squad, they are chatting amongst themselves as we speak. They're saying hello to each other in our private chat that happens during the show, in the little chat section that happens during our broadcast. So if you would like to chat and you would like us to also see your comments, feel free to do that, to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's a gift for our subscribers. There's no cost to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. No cost whatsoever. It is free. And just click the red button and you're a subscriber to Jim Masters TV. Help us out, share the levity, help us continue to grow this community and build this channel and spread the word about our series and all the beautiful things we're doing. Also, give this episode a like, thumbs up like. There's a little icon you see there on the YouTube channel. Give it a like, leave a comment for us. Thanks to those of you who have been doing that as well. We thank you so very, very much. We love you for all of that levity that you're sharing with all of us. Again, our very special guest coming to us live and direct from Switzerland, Grammy-nominated singer and songwriter Ajay Mathur. Now, if you're not familiar with his work, well, you're going to thoroughly enjoy what we're going to share with you today. If you are familiar with his work, then you know how good he is and how talented he is. He's a prolific songwriter. He's won multiple awards for his songwriting as well. Born into a musical family in India, he's been surrounded by the arts his entire life. Matter of fact, at age 14, after a chance encounter with one of the most influential bands in music history, the Beatles, AJ's passion for music shifted into high gear. With the aid of an older family member, he was encouraged to pick up a guitar, and his fate was sealed. Having played with several bands and then leaving his homeland for new opportunities in Switzerland, the artist found great success in the European music scene. Throughout the 80s and 90s, AJ recorded 4 albums with his band Main Street. And when the band decided to go in different directions, the songwriter took an extended sabbatical from the stage to work on other projects. He's also a prolific painter as well. Also, always writing music for commercials and short films. And after compiling over 40 fully recorded tracks, AJ was ready to return to music and released his first album on an independent artist label back in 2011. And critics have said so much about him. Rock on Philly hails AJ as an example of the far more interesting and experimental side of the adult contemporary market. The guitarist is excited to present his 5th solo album, scheduled for release, which has been released already in 2022. We're very excited about that. Talking Loud, we're going to talk about that as well. And if you love artists like the Beatles and David Bowie and Tom Petty and Jackson Browne, you'll love AJ. And that's just the short list. I mean, Grammy nominated, very, very talented, affable, good guy, and he loves what he does. That's the key. And he's, as I said, he's a prolific songwriter. He's constantly writing songs and then sharing it with the world. Join me in welcoming AJ to our show exclusively here, live and direct from his fabulous studio in Switzerland. AJ, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jim. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me here.
You're bowled over by the intro, huh?
I'm smashed.
Well, your mom faxed that to us, and we had to approve it. No, no, it's all truth. You know, sometimes when you hear it back, it amazes you when you've been doing something for a long time, right?
It's really amazing. You know, this is like a fast backward film.
Yes.
My God, what all happened in my life? It's just amazing. You know, it's just, you just mentioned a couple of, highlights. There are lots of other highlights as well, which probably you'll get to talk about.
Yes.
But it's just amazing how things, suddenly take off. And, if you let them go, and probably I've always had that kind of a character to just let loose, let the horse run,
Right.
So it just goes on.
And share it with the world, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that's a really cool thing. But this really goes back to growing up in India, being surrounded by music. And at an early age for you, you had inspiration come your way. Tell us about that, AJ.
Yeah, well, I grew up in a family of musicians and artists. So, people were in the Indian classical music and Bollywood music.
Yeah.
So more the Indian side of music. And of course, I sort of gravitated towards the Western music, rock and roll. I just wanted to probably differentiate myself back then. Okay, enough of the adults' music. I want to do my own thing, So that's when, I used to listen to a lot of music. I was a painter at school.
That's right.
People at school know me as a painter. I was an artist, and a pretty good one, and passionate about that. I also wanted to become a journalist, and that's how I got to meet the Beatles at a very early age. I had no intention of becoming a musician back then, but I guess that did plant a seed in my heart. And then it sort of grabbed me, and I got to learn the first 3 chords, and the rest is history. That's just been an amazing, amazing journey for me.
Isn't that incredible? Really? What was it like for you when you met the Beatles? That had to be, you were probably on cloud 9 at that point.
It was unreal. It was unreal. It was it's being so close to these four guys. There were other people as well, but these four
Sure.
were. There was so much energy and so much positivity. That's all I sort of remember. I also remember not being able to say a single
Humana,
word.
humana, humana. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so basically, John and Paul, they sort of took over and sort of started a conversation on my behalf. Great guys. Oh man, I love the Beatles. I love John. I
Yeah.
love John. I love Paul.
Yes.
These are just once in 1,000 years. These are
Yeah.
talented people, lovely people,
Yes.
really sweet people.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. Yeah.
Now,
And that's what made them, great.
absolutely.
You know?
So for you coming up, the ranks, what was some of the music that you were hearing early on, AJ, that was inspiring you? Did you like an eclectic mix of music, or were you going towards pop and rock and other folk, other forms of music as well?
Yeah, I grew up with the Beach Boys, Beatles. I listened to a lot of Elvis Presley. Loved his music. Especially the early stuff. Rock and roll stuff. It's just
Oh, yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I love that music. I grew up with that, and I had family. I had my cousin, elder cousin, who used to
Yeah.
listen to the with us. They used to sit around friends. They were at college, and they used to sit around listen to music. And I used to be, like the young guy, sort of. Come on, AJ, get out.
Right.
I said, no, hey man, I want
Yeah.
to listen to your music.
Yeah.
I love it. And they used to sit around on the balcony and sing. This John used to play the guitar. My cousin used to play the guitar, and these guys used to just chime in, sing harmonies, and it was like heaven for me. It was just completely thrilled me just to listen to these guys sing. And I said,
Yeah.
got to get there. So I
Absolutely.
asked John, hey man, can you show me a couple of chords? And he did. He showed me. So for my first song, I actually learned to play. I remember very, very well, was Sloop John B.
Oh, yeah,
Two
sure.
chords, two
Yeah.
chords. But I could sing and I could play, and
Yeah.
that made the whole thing worthwhile.
Well, what came as far as interest and inspiration for you, AJ? What came first? Was it wanting to sing? Was it wanting to be a musician, songwriter? What was in your heart first?
I
And
wanted
what
to I wanted to play the guitar and
the
sing
guitar and sing
and
both.
sing. Yeah, it's that's one thing which in Indian classical music, you don't have that. You have singers or instrument players.
Right.
Very few people actually are singing and playing an instrument,
Right.
and that being like a complete entity, you know, being able to present that music. And that's always fascinating. And these guys, Johnny's friends, they used to sit around just one guitar and it sounded great. And that's what really got me. I loved this concept of being able to play chords and sing.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
simple. It's really simple.
So
That's how it came.
so when the passion was there for you, what were some of those steps you took to get ready, set, go? Some of those opportunities that came your way early on that sort of, move things forward for you, AJ?
Yeah. Well, as soon as I got into guitar playing, it just went uphill for me. I started playing, all kinds of. I started trying out songs. Back then, we didn't have YouTube. We
Yeah, there
we,
was none of
we
the
used to
internet
listen to
or
records.
yeah.
We used to have singles. Turn them down to 33 from 45 to sort of get to, okay, what is that word?
Mhm.
Get the lyrics. We didn't have
Right.
lyrics and stuff in India. No chance. There were no shops, you know, to get sheet music or anything.
Right.
So just listening and sort of that experience, that experience of actually being, okay, I got it now, this song, and then I started listening to, of course, Hendrix. I loved Hendrix, especially his songwriting stuff. I loved his songs like Castles Made of Sand,
Yeah.
Little Wing, these Axis Bold as Love. I mean, the lyrics are just genius.
Right.
It's not only the guitar playing, it's also his way of writing songs, his
Mhm.
lyrics. That was fascinating for me. Of course, Beatles, they were just gods. And I would, when I listened to the White Album for the first time, it was just blew my mind. I mean,
Yeah.
Sergeant Pepper was great. It was really psychedelic, but it was sort of kind of stuff which came sort of from India, you know, psychedelia. But White Album was like bang, you know, with
Mhm.
this Helter Skelter and Yeah Blues and all, you know, these are really great songs on that album. And just the concept of no name, just a White Album, the Beatles, great. And another thing which really fascinated me is just the fact that they wrote most of the songs from the White Album in India, and they were there in Rishikesh.
That's
So
right.
that's where all the songs came from, Across the Universe and all these songs, just amazing songs.
So were you a solo artist first? Because you've had an opportunity to be a part of bands and
Yeah.
created them as well. Tell us about some of that.
Yes. Well, pretty soon after I started playing the guitar, a friend of mine, a school friend of mine, had a band. He was an organist. He said, "Hey, AJ, we need a rhythm guitarist." I said, "Sure, I'll come play rhythm for you." You know. So we had a couple of concerts. We played in festivals at school, a big school auditorium. It was great. It really excited me. Then I had the opportunity to play in another band. And this guy asked me if I play bass. I said, "Sure, I play bass." I mean,
Mhm.
six strings, I can manage six, I can manage four. That was my sort of concept, but it's different. It's not easy to play bass. Yeah, it was hard work for, you
Yes.
know, playing bass and actually singing. I was also singing, you know, so playing bass and singing. So I played. So in that gig, that was in a like a resort up in the hills in India. We played 3 times per day. The first time at 3 o'clock in the afternoon for the kids, like 14 downwards. Second time at 7 o'clock for the teenagers and the twents, and the last time at 10 o'clock for the adults. And that was fun. That really gave a lot of, you know, mileage. And then I joined a band from which African students formed. It's called Afrobeats. This guy asked me, saw me playing somewhere, and asked me if I would like to play guitar, solo guitar, lead guitar. I said, "Yeah, sure." It sort of happened all the time, and then after Afrobeats broke up, I left Afrobeats, and these were students, so they also left. Sort of, they finished college and left. So it was temporary anyway. So then I formed my band called The Earth, and that's when the real, that was in, I think, 72, 72. That's when the real semi-professional, we played for months in different clubs, you know, 1 month in this club every night, 1 month in another club in different cities. And that's where I got to know, I met a lot of people, a lot of musicians, you know, playing in different clubs.
Mm.
Unknown people, you know, jazz musicians.
Yeah.
Don Cherry was there, you know,
Wow.
the trumpet player.
Yeah, sure.
These guys used to come on stage because the stages in India were just really low. It was clubs, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they used to
It's
come
sort
up,
of
"Hey,
intimate. Yeah.
yeah." They used to say that was really intimate. It was like stage. There was, people could dance, and people used to sit down, eat at the back, you know, and people could just come up and say, "Hey, can we jam with you?" I said, "Sure." We were a trio, so no problem. Let's jam, you know. So some of them were great. Some of them were crap.
It's
But
sort of like
you know, that was the kind of, you know, road learning I had, which
yeah.
was really useful for me. And I did write a lot of songs back then, but we were doing all covers. We were doing Beatles, we were doing, you know, Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, you know, all these. And I did play my songs to my bandmates, and they said, "Come on, AJ."
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So, but those songs are still there. I actually released one of the songs, which I wrote as I think I was 18 or 17 back then. It's called "View from the Top." It's a '93 album. I,
Hmm.
I took it out afterwards. I sort of changed the lyrics a little bit, but the chords and the melody is exactly like I composed it back then. It's fun to
Wow.
listen to it. That worked. And the View from the Top actually topped the top 50 rock radio chart in European.
Did it really?
Yeah. Top. It's a rock
Wow.
song. It's a
Yeah.
protest song.
Right.
It's a
Right.
protest song.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
And
incredible. You know,
yeah,
you have been compared to, people have said, if you like the sound of the Beatles and David Bowie and others, you'll love AJ. How does that make you feel when you hear
oh, I feel
some of
honored.
the veterans in the music industry, the reviewers and critics say things like that?
Yeah, I feel totally honored and humbled. I mean, of course, these guys influenced me. They just put all their juices, the creativity out there, and I sucked it up. And I'm absolutely honest about that. These guys influenced me. Period.
Right.
If anybody, every music has been influenced by something else, and if you are, people sometimes don't admit it, but you're always influenced, and you should be grateful. It's good to have actually be influenced by these guys. And when I get compared by with Beatles or David Bowie, I loved that guy. Nothing goes more eclectic than David Bowie. I mean, this guy made albums which are completely different, and I love that concept. He always said, "Oh, this album's done. I don't want to do that." He's somewhat like Neil Young. He was also exactly the same way. I love that attitude of why would I copy something which, okay, I was successful. Why should I copy that? Let's explore. Maybe there's something new, and that's the most exciting thing about making music.
You know what it really is when you get a chance to explore and try different things, you like to do that, right? You like to experiment with a lot of different technique and sounds and rhythms and not just have it all be the same thing, right? You've got such a variety.
Yes, I do. That comes from the way I compose and I record. It's probably a little bit different than most of the bands or musicians do. People actually go. They say, okay, now we're going to make an album, and then they compose for the album. I don't do that. I'm composing and recording sort of is a constant process with me. I'm constantly composing. That's why I have my own studio here.
Right.
I'm always down here. And as soon as I have an idea, I just try it out. Yeah. Another thing I do, I used to record on cassettes back then, cassette tapes. Remember
me too. I still have them and they sound good.
Yeah, I had this little mono recorder. I used to put cassettes in, and any idea I had, I just straight recorded. And I recently threw away about 2 crates full of cassettes.
Oh, that must have been very difficult to do.
I never listened to any of those cassettes.
Oh.
I always gravitated towards ideas which stuck. That's what I do now. When I get an idea, I play around with it for a while. But then I don't write it or I don't record it.
Yeah.
And I just wait, just let it be for a couple of days or a week or a couple of weeks, maybe. And if the idea,
how do you save it? So when it's coming to you, how do you for example, we had I use this sometimes as a reference. We had, music legend Melissa Manchester on the show. Mm-hmm. And she said that I asked her, how are you inspired sometimes to create the phenomenal music? And she said, well, what happens to her is occasionally, of many different ways that she does it, but sometimes when she's inspired and has that aha moment, she could be walking across the living room, she could be at the supermarket, but especially if it's at home, she could be waking up out of sleep. It could be anything. She will go right to the piano. She will start working it out, start playing on the piano, whatever it is, that energy is, whatever is flowing through her. And she has the recorder next to the piano and presses record just to save whatever it is that's coming out of her. Because if she if there's distance and time from it, it sort of dissipates or weakens, or you just sort of forget about it. But she'll have that recording of the mishmash of whatever she was throwing together as the inspiration was flowing through her, and then can take it and sort of build something from there. Do you do that too, to save the inspirational
No.
moments as they're happening? How do you do it?
Well, when the inspiration comes, for me, it's clear. It's clear to me now. I used to be, when I was younger, it was like, hey, man, that's my music. It's coming through me. It's coming out of me. No, I think my music comes from somewhere else. I'm a channel. There's nothing out there, which is not already there, wasn't already there. I believe in that. So it's a channel. There's a Greek god called Muse, the Muse. If Muse knocks at your door, you have to be prepared to open the door. And that's what happens to me constantly. There are phases, where in a week, I'd write like 20 songs. I get inspired, and then a month can go by. I have absolutely no ideas about writing songs. So when the muse comes in, what I do is, of course, I sit down and I try to hum it, get the melody, get the idea, the theme, the melody and the lyrics sort of come together. And then mostly I have a guitar somewhere, so I start playing. And then I play for a while. It can be for a couple of hours. I'll just play, get the right key, sort of get the right, structure, see if the melody works, how it works for me. And then I don't record or write that down. I just let it sit. Because what I noticed is when I go back after a couple of days, and I can have 20 ideas, but when I go back after a couple of days, the 5 ideas or 10 ideas that's still stuck in my head are the ones worth pursuing. The ones which are gone are gone. I don't cling on to every idea I have. I think not every idea is there's a song in it. That's my belief. I think if it sticks, that's what. It's interesting because the Beatles film, Get Back.
Yes,
he talks about that, and I was saying, my God,
yeah.
I do that all the time. He said, we don't have cassette recorders. This needs to stick.
Yeah. Yes.
We don't have tapes all the time. We played stuff at home, and then we come to the studio, and then if it sticks, it has to stick. We don't write it down.
Just like the song, they take whatever that inspiration is and
exactly
go into the studio, and we can work it out.
Yeah, exactly. And I was so amused, and I was so thrilled to hear that from Paul when he said, how do you say, we don't save it. We don't have anything to save. We can be somewhere. We can be in Geneva or Switzerland, somewhere with an idea. We just play, and that sticks. That has to stick. That has to stay.
So those cassettes that you threw out, what did they have on them?
What do you mean?
You said you just threw out 2 boxes of cassettes.
Some ideas never listened to, probably. Also, some ideas which became songs, because earlier, in younger days, I used to record everything. Like you said, I just cassette, record everything,
save it,
and then and I never got back to listening because the songs which stuck in my head, I worked on them. Those were the songs which I recorded and worked on them. The other ones I didn't even. I never listened to those cassettes.
Yeah,
it's so sad. And before I threw them away, I said, "Shall I listen to them?" I said, "No. There's nothing in there. I'm pretty sure if it didn't stick in my head,
right?
I have ideas which came to me like 2 months back. I never recorded, and when I go back, they're still there.
They're still there.
Like this. Oh,
it's like a muscle memory.
That song, Anytime at All on Talking Loud. I wrote that song. I wrote this song 40 years back. That was a reaction to John Lennon's murder.
Yes.
That really hit me.
This has
You
been
know,
a song that has been in the making for a long
yeah,
time. Yeah, tell
yeah,
us about that. And it's on, like you say, Talking Loud.
yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. No, John Lennon. You know, when John got killed, it
Yeah.
was such a shock for me because I mean it was personal for me. I loved his music. I met him. I saw the life energy in him. I have the last album, solo album, which he released just before he was taken away from us, was just amazing. And then this he died, and this I was like, it was like I felt like I was drowning. I had to do something. So this song sort of just came out anytime at all. But I didn't find the strength to actually record that song and sing that song back then. I never got the strength. I didn't record it. It's just there somewhere.
Yeah, right.
And so in 2020, when everything closed down, all my gigs and my events and my studio stuff, which was all planned out, all got canceled. I was here. I would listen to old albums. I was just sitting in my chair. I got two
Yeah.
rocking chairs here.
In those boxes of cassettes you said that you threw out,
Yeah.
Veronica Lee, who watches live from Australia, says, wish I found those boxes.
You won't find anything worthwhile, dear Veronica. I'm sure about that. Those ideas were okay. They weren't the best.
What inspires you then? Obviously you have to be an observer of life. You feel things deeply. You want to share it all through music, through the artful form of music, the healing powers of music. You're also a very inspired and inspiring person. You like music that has good rhythm and good melody, good beat, yes, but you do like things that go a little deeper, have a message, and make us really think and feel. And that's very important to you, isn't it, AJ?
Yes, yes. I think for me, music has to have something to say. Even if it's a joke, it's funny. It needs to have something to say. And there are so many topics. I get inspiration from what I experience myself. I get inspiration talking to people. I'm a dog owner. I love dogs. I've always had a dog. I have a Labrador Retriever, a black Mojo, and we go off.
Let them in. They love when they see animals.
Oh, he's upstairs. He'll be all over me when it comes
Who
down.
let the dogs in?
Let the dogs in. So you walk the dog, and then you meet people, and you start talking. We go hiking with him, and you talk to people, and if you let people talk, and there's so many things people have to say, and there's so many great stories. I've come across so many great stories, which sort of transformed into themes in my songs. Not
Yes.
one to one, but sort of that kind of stuff. Transforms into the song. So it's important to me what I sing. It has to have a depth. It needs to say something. I mean, you listen to the Beatles, listen to to all these iconic songwriters. Their songs have meanings.
Yes.
Tom Petty's songs. I mean, each and every song. It's got a depth. It's got something to do with life and everything.
Exactly right. We're going to take a look at this as we're chatting. Tell us about this, what we're seeing. This is really, really cool, AJ.
This is the video, the official video of my song, "I Need You Now," and that was the first single that was released last year in August, and this
I love
was
the
done.
animation too.
Yeah, this was.
It's very Sergeant Pepper-esque.
Yeah, it is psychedelic,
Yes.
but the song is psychedelic. If you listen to the song, it's very psychedelic. It's a very positive song. It's about opening up, and especially during the pandemic, man, you needed human touch. You needed that, it was
Yes.
such a, and just go out. A lot of people, people, including me, we're
Yeah.
sort of, should I say that I need you, or I love you, I really like you, kind of reserved. But this song says, hey, open it out, say it loud. If things come back, it's a bonus. If nothing come back, you haven't lost anything. Just be
Right.
brave. Just say I need you. Just I love you. You know,
Right.
without expectation. I mean, expectation. If something comes back, great.
Yeah.
If nothing comes back, nothing has changed in your life. It's basically the same like it was the morning you woke up. Nothing is
Exactly.
different. So this song is about that feeling, about reaching out, opening up. And this was done by an artist from Turkey, from Istanbul.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Turkish artist. I've
Yeah.
worked with him on my last album, Little Boat.
Oh
Um,
yes, Little Boat.
yeah,
Right.
on my last album, Little Boat, and he's amazing. He has a very distinctive style of, which I really love. It's it takes you off in a dreamland, and that's what I love about. And for me, videos are something which are additional to the songs. I don't really like doing videos just playing the guitar with the band.
Right.
I just go play live. Why make a video? you know
Right.
but
Exactly.
if you can extend the message and extend the depth of the song through visuals,
Yes.
you got something new, something more out of it. And that's what I love about making videos. And I've always worked with different video artists from across the world. I've worked with a guy in Warsaw. I've worked with an Argentinian guy in LA. And I've worked with people with a girl from Beirut, Lebanon. She, I mean, these poor guys, these poor people have nothing. Everything got blown up 2 years back.
Yes.
It's terrible. And she contacted me because I had done a project with her before, and we did a beautiful video. It's also on my YouTube channel, about raising awareness for Lebanon, for Beirut. And she
Yeah.
did some really beautiful, also dark, sort of devastating images of what really happened there. And
Yeah.
we collect. It was a fundraiser video, so that was really good. They could raise a lot of money because these people had nothing. It's just within like 5 minutes, everything was just
Everything
blown.
was
Yeah,
completely gone, and we're seeing some
yeah,
of that now in the news too, sort of
yeah,
repeat itself. History repeats itself in so
yep,
many different
yeah,
beautiful ways and terrific ways and horrific ways, as
yeah,
we've learned. How have you been during what we've experienced the last 2 years globally with the pandemic and all? You're an artist, you're a performer, you like to be amongst the people, you like to be out there, you like to be playing off other musicians and jamming and creating. And the world sort of stopped 2 years ago, and we've all
yep.
had to sort of find ways to stay connected and creative and collaborative. How have you done that? You've been writing music and creating intensely during that time, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, creative part of my music is always kind of one. I'm a lone ranger. I just create alone. Um, I work with the lyricist Mary Lou. She's from Minnesota. She's an American.
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota. She lives in Switzerland. She's also Swiss, and she's extremely creative. And I really love her poetic style,
Yeah.
of lyrics. And we worked on a couple of albums. So we both of us write lyrics.
Hmm.
So there's no competition. It's just our music. And
Yeah. Complementing each other.
yeah, we complement each other. We also have a very unique way of writing lyrics. When I have an idea, I have a theme, she picks it up, and I sit down and play the guitar, sort of hum the melody, and she writes like a couple of lines, and I sing those lines. It's very fast. We just, you know, she writes, I play, we tweak as we go, and we got the lyrics within like half an hour. And
Wow.
it's great because we don't overthink those
Yeah.
lyrics. But it's sometimes quite intense. It's
Yes.
very, very intense, emotionally intense. Suddenly, I, you know, certain songs they just hit you, but it's a great experience, and it's good to have the two of you, in one room, concentrating on writing lyrics just straight from, off the
Yes.
bat.
Yes. What are some things that you learned about yourself, about music, about living, and teachable moments that we've all experienced as well during this time of pandemic? And has anything that you've learned or felt or witnessed, experienced, influenced your art going forward?
Yes, yes, it was quite a shock when everything closed down. It was shock for me to watch the TV, seeing all those body bags in Italy, North Italy. It's like 1.5 hours from where I live. They're carrying out body bags, truckloads of bodies. It was really shocking. But then, and we were hoping that something needs to get done here, because it's a virus. It won't stop at the border. You don't have to show the passport at the border. So it happened as it had to happen. The virus was here, and we locked down. We locked down mid-March 2020, and just within 1 week, all my gigs and appointments got either canceled or postponed. Some of them got postponed. One of the gigs got postponed like 4 times. I'm playing this gig next month, beginning of April. That was supposed to be played in April 2020.
Wow.
So, and everything got, so it was quite a downer. I was quite depressed.
Yes.
But Mary Lou gave me this idea. She said, "Look, you've lost control over whatever you've done, and that's new. I've always had control over.
You've always had
music.
control.
Always had control over music." So she said, "Why don't you really give up the control and sort of try and, open up,
Go with the flow.
go with the
and
flow,
yeah.
and don't let it bog down. Don't try to force things because they can't be done. Period.
Yes.
I can't have musicians here.
Right. You can't. It's just
I can't.
beyond our control. Right.
Exactly. So
What sage and wise advice she gave you, huh?
yeah, we were talking about. I was pretty down. I was very depressed. That was just the beginning. That was like end of March. Really, that's when I was just binge listening to our records and everything, and then this. So I basically said, yes, that's a great idea. That's a next experiment in giving up self-control.
Yes.
Control, basically.
Yes.
And so what I did was I contacted musicians whom I knew, and some of them I worked with, and we got down and sort of did remote work.
Yes.
I also went a step further and said, look, guys, here's a song. You can do whatever you think fits in that song. Whatever you think. I'm not going to say anything. I was really giving up control. When I'm in studio, I'm really in charge. I know.
Was it hard to do in the beginning, to relinquish and to delegate? Was it hard to initially give up the control? Or was it liberating?
Once the mind was made, I think the hardest part was actually getting there from your heart and soul.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I can't do it on my own. Right. I have to give it up.
Sort of liberating, isn't it, in a way?
It is. It's very liberating. And I'll tell you, Jim, it's been the most creative phase of my life. I mean, I've got another album which is finished. I did actually in those 2 years, I did 2 albums. I've worked on another project, which is a Swiss musicians project. 8 bands, interpreted songs from another band, and one of them did my song, and I did a song of another musician. I did a single, a beautiful, inspiring song. I wrote it with a blues singer from Detroit, Paul Joseph Miles. He's a blues singer. He basks he couldn't play anywhere, but he goes and plays everywhere. And he was also completely blocked. He couldn't do anything. So I did that song with him. Collaboration went on through Talking Loud. That's the first. I've always mixed my own album. I record, I produce, but I always mixed the albums as well myself. But this time, Talking Loud, I worked with an external, with somebody else. I worked with Austin in California, near Los Angeles. He's a young guy. He's a Grammy-winning mixer, so he's good. He's worked with War on Drugs, Rolling Stones, so he's really good. And I worked with him. Initially, I wanted to have just a couple of songs mixed by somebody else, but our collaboration was so gratifying that we ended up doing the whole album.
Wow.
I did the album with him.
Isn't that incredible? Tell us about the flavor and the essence of Talking Loud. Because this literally just came out just within a couple of weeks, if not days. And I know it's hot off the presses and you're very excited about it. When hearing this, what can people expect with Talking Loud? And again, congratulations on it, AJ.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Talking Loud is a very positive album. It comes out of a dark space, pandemic, the lockdown, but it's very positive. It's also something I learned during these days, to actually be able to be happy with myself. It's sometimes so hard. Oh, I miss going out with my friends. I miss that. No, being with yourself, accepting yourself, accepting the situation as it is, and making, there's certain things you just can't change, period. That's it. We need to look around. What can you do? And I found hundreds of things to do. And this is all about, Talking Loud is about acceptance, about self-esteem as well. A lot of people, I've had the same problem. It's sort of a small space between ego and self-esteem. So I'd rather work towards self-esteem. I know what I have. It's good. I'm happy with that. So this album is about, acceptance, self-acceptance, self-esteem. It's quite personal as well. The album, the last album, A Little Boat, was about resilience. Had a couple of dark edges from my past, coming into this one. Is all about self-esteem. It's very positive.
Tell us about Little Boat.
Yeah, Little Boat was very successful. It was an album about resilience, and I've been in my life through a lot of things,
Yeah,
and relationships, and ups and downs, and yeah. I took, like you said, I took a sabbatical for about 15 years. I had just enough of stage, playing with bands.
And painting too, huh? Which is very therapeutic.
Oh yeah, I do all my artwork myself, so that's still there.
Did you do that?
No, I didn't do that. That's my friend Zero. He's in Los Angeles. Yeah, he did that video.
Congratulations on that too.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So Little Boat, my last album, was actually won the album of the year 2018 in Germany, which is a huge thing. It was awarded by the German Pop Foundation, which is a kind of an official stamp on it. So that was pretty awesome, winning that award. And I sold a lot of albums. It was quite successful.
But it's a message of resilience, right? And that's a message that we all need to hear in our lives, because in order to keep going forward and survive the things that life brings us, we have to be resilient, right?
Yes. I remember, I don't know if you know about this play by Tennessee Williams. It's called The Night of the Iguana.
Oh, sure. Yes.
It was also a movie. And
yes,
there's a beautiful line there, where she says, it's not the man, it's his circumstances, which
Right.
is so beautiful. I mean,
Yes.
it's like, it's not the man, it's the circumstances he's been thrown into, you know. So that's that's what I mean by resilience. It's, you are still there, your core is still there. You might be sort of put into certain circumstances where you, yeah, keep, edging and, bumping into
Mhm.
wrong corners maybe,
Yeah.
but the core, the man, the person is still there. It's the circumstances, things you can't change. It's, you have to sort of live around it. I mean, water doesn't try to climb a wall, it just tries to go around it.
Right.
It's a beautiful lesson to learn from nature as well.
It's
You know,
so true.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something which also this kind of, acceptance to, these things I can't change, it's not under my control. I accept that, and I'll try and do something good out of it. There's always,
Mm.
something good in every situation.
Absolutely right.
If you don't fall into panic or fear. Fear
Right.
is not good.
All the outside noise that tries to penetrate, right.
Yes,
You have to
yes.
listen to what your heart and soul says
Yeah,
and
you have to go back to yourself. You accept your feelings, acceptance, self-acceptance,
yes.
and your gut feeling, and sort of breathe in twice and say, oh, yeah, that's not a bad thing to try. I mean, nothing will change if it doesn't work. I'm still the same person, I'm still the same. But if I do that and it actually works out, that's a bonus.
It sounds like as much as you are a fantastically talented musician and singer and all these other wonderful things and all these accolades, from fans and from the industry itself. This has been sort of AJ's life journey captured in music. Some of these
Yeah.
things you're talking about, like the understanding of letting go and being able to, not have control, and resilience and survival and healing and finding the joy in life. This material that you release, as fantastic as it sounds musically with the melodies and the instrumentation and the arrangements, it's also telling a good deal of AJ's life story in song and melody, huh?
Yes, it's not only my story. It's human condition. I sing about human conditions. Could be mine. Could be somebody else. You know, there's a song. It's called "Deeper Than Your Skin." It's about the hurtfulness of words. People underestimate the how hurtful words can be if they're just spoken carelessly, and it can devastate a person. Can And that "Deeper Than Your Skin" it's about that. It's about saying, look, inside you there's a heart. You're smart. You got a good heart, and you have to accept yourself, who you are. You have to have a little bit faith. Moving from India to Europe, I also lived in the States. I lived for about 1.5 years in Los Angeles. I lived in London. I've lived in Paris. And most of the time I've been living in Switzerland. But it's I think it's those little experiences, and somehow I was able to sort of go back and say, look, this is happening to me, but there's nothing bad happening to me. I wake up in the morning, I'm healthy, I can have my coffee, I can have my breakfast. There's nothing bad happening to me. And this is the kind of acceptance of things that, they can grow out of the day, but but they're not bombs falling on us. I mean, it's different if you go 2,000 kilometers towards the east, things are different. That's a bad situation. You don't know that something might hit you. But here, as we live, our lives are actually good. If you're healthy, it's fine, And what I learned pretty early on was to differentiate between being careful and being fearful. And that was a big difference. That's something which my dad also talked about, a lot when I was growing up. About, he always said, forget about fear. Fear is just an outburst. It's like fire, like a firecracker,
It's it,
and
right?
it's a huge bang, and then it's deafening. You don't see anything, and then things can go past you and stuff. But he said you have to be careful in your life. The being careful and being fearful are two different things. And I always talk about these people who work in high risk jobs.
Mhm.
They are not fearful. People who go way up the mass, they're not.
Yeah.
They don't have fear. They're careful.
Right.
If they're fearful, they would probably be dead or
They
have
wouldn't.
accidents. And that's sort of this a small balance you have to make for yourself. If you go into a situation, again, there are situations. Nothing bad happened to you. You entered in a different situation which you didn't expect. So that situation might cause anxiety, but anxiety again is, does it deafen you, make you numb, or is it something, oh, I need to be
Yeah.
careful here, oh, I might lose a job, so what do I do? What do I do? How can I manage through this day or this week, the next 2 weeks, 1 month, this kind of stuff? And I learned that pretty early on. And that's why I was able to live in different places.
Yeah.
I didn't have any, I had to adjust all the time,
Right.
And so
But you
if
worked
you're,
with it and you
yeah,
adapted and blended.
yes,
Right.
yes. And for me, it was always sort of an opportunity or circumstances. Sort of, it's an, it's
It
you're
is.
thrown
It's
into
new.
something, and you can make something out of it.
Right.
Maybe it's not what you thought it would be, but still something there. Maybe you can make something out of it. Or
Mhm.
say, okay, let's sit it out. That's a resilience thing,
The
Okay,
resilience.
resilience, yeah.
Coming back to the
I
resilience.
can't do anything about it. Okay, I'm gonna just wait and see what happens. Right now I'm good. I'm gonna keep my status quo and just hang on to it,
Yeah.
and use it. Do something else.
Well, the status quo is looking pretty good all around you there in that beautiful studio. Yeah, I was admiring it before we went live when we were chatting. A couple people have been questioning, as I knew they would, the tapestry that's on the wall just above the
Yeah,
guitars. Do you want to
yeah.
tell us about the phenomenal room you're in and what we're seeing in the guitars, and take us through your world there in Switzerland? It looks quite content.
Yeah, I'm very lucky to have this room. We are in a house in the central Switzerland, which is quite a, yeah. It's not normal to have a house, but I wanted to have a house because I always wanted to have a studio, and it's not possible to have a studio in a living room somewhere in an apartment building. So we looked, and I've always had a studio somewhere. So this is a huge room. It goes, maybe I can just turn around here. See, well, it goes all the way. It's huge. It's got a bed for guests. And like I said, I got two rocking chairs there. I got my stereo. I got a whole collection of guitars at the back. Tapestries from India. This is really traditional artwork from Rajasthan. That's northwest, bordering Pakistan. That region. They do beautiful stitching, and they got little mirrors there's little mirrors in there, between those colorful. The Rajasthan is the most colorful handicraft, but it's all desert. It's completely bland, the area. So,
Those
and
guitars around you look absolutely spectacular. And is
yeah,
there a record collection or something behind you too?
yes, that's a vinyl collection back there. It's my vinyls, so the one which survived, basically.
There's
I
a
was married.
beautiful red car, a
Yeah.
red guitar sort of in the corner
Yes.
by itself in front of the vinyls too.
Yeah, that's a Telecaster. That's a red Telecaster. It's a beautiful one. Here it is.
Wow.
It's a lovely guitar to play. Yeah. It's not an old one. I've got a couple of pretty old guitars. I've been making music for such a long time. I got a pretty decent collection of guitars all these years.
Do you have a personal favorite? Is there one that's the go-to that's like your best friend?
It's always, there are phases where a guitar, I take up a guitar, and the guitar I've been playing all the time, and it suddenly doesn't feel good. So I go to another one, and it starts feeling good. It's very strange. It's those guitars call me from time to time. It's totally bizarre. Can't
Yeah, it's
explain
like
this.
they have humanistic qualities, and like you
Yes.
give them.
And right now,
Yeah.
my red Telecaster is the one on Talking Loud. It was this one. Where is it? Where is my beautiful guitar? Here it is. This is the one. I played most of the time on this guitar. This is
That is
a
gorgeous.
guitar. It's beautiful. It's really well done. It's made by a German session musician. He's a guitarist, and it's just completely balanced. So this was the one which I used mostly on Talking Loud, the electric guitar. Of course, my guitarist friend Chris, he plays on all my guitars. He doesn't have to bring any guitars of his own.
So for folks that are going to be scooping up Talking Loud and probably digging into your archives now and getting all your music, when they listen to Talking Loud, that guitar was used on it, huh?
Yes, this is the most used guitar on Talking Loud that I played. Yeah. And this acoustic guitar. I'm gonna bring it closer in a while. Let me put this back. There's another guitar which has a very, very cool story to it. I'll show it to you quick. This Stratocaster I got it from a junk guy, he has a junk shop, and he had this Stratocaster lying around, and I played on it. It was just amazing. This is the guitar I use most on Little Boat, by the way.
You mean the guy that has the gently used antiques?
This is a 1974 Stratocaster.
Oh wow, yeah. That's beautiful too.
And it was lying there in a junkyard in a corner, and it had all the strings on. So I tuned the guitar and started playing, and I loved it. It just fit. The guitars are like, when you start playing a guitar, if it's there, it grabs you. It's just, you start playing, you can't stop playing. And I asked him, how much do you want for this? He said, $300. I said, okay, I'll take it. And
that's a pretty good deal, huh?
That's a very good deal for this guitar. He didn't know what he had.
That happens often, yeah.
And people who throw this kind of stuff away is another story. So, but this is like
those 2 boxes of cassettes.
I'm sure somebody got it.
One man's garbage is another man's treasure.
I know. I didn't think about it like that.
Good thing Veronica Lee's in Australia. She'd be digging through your rubbish right now.
You got me.
It's
crazy. I was really contemplating, shall I throw this? Then I thought, I've never listened. We moved 3 times now. I've always carried this along in every place. Never listened to any of those cassettes Will I ever listen to them? No. So get rid of it. Just lighten up. Maybe somebody is listening to it and getting you.
Yeah.
Suddenly I hear an idea.
Yeah. The sanitation engineers who picked up those cans of rubbish are enjoying some fabulous music.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna make an album out of my
I was going to
my not used ideas.
Austin Field is here. He says, another great show. Please subscribe for these wonderful interviews. Thank you, Austin. I appreciate that. Sherry Larson is, Austin, I believe, is watching in Connecticut, USA. Sherry Larson is watching in Kansas, USA. Gorgeous guitar. Kathleen in New York City. Cool guitars. I think this is our first guitar tour. Juanita's watching in South Africa. Beautiful room and guitars. You wanted to, as we're chatting too, because we have more to show, but you wanted to play some things for us too during the show, right, my friend?
You want me to play something?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, I'll play something for you.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay. Sure.
Let's see what he whips up, gang. Oh, so he's bringing out the beautiful acoustic.
Another guitar. This is a Martin.
Yes.
I've had it since 1975. It's my first acoustic guitar. This is also this is also on every
1975. That was like 15 minutes ago, huh?
Yeah. I've been through some history. You know? I started making music.
That's it. And never stopped and never looked back.
Yeah. I mean, times have changed. So
I want to show you something which is kind of cool. And when I was doing the research, your music is played in a lot of stations too, radio stations and so much more. And your music is also played on the college radio station at the college I went to in New York, LIU, Long Island University.
Oh, wow.
It's played on that. And they're now a public radio station, WCWP 88.1 FM. I used to work for them in college on the air as an announcer, host, news anchor, and so much more. And your music is played on their station in New York, as well as a lot of other places. Isn't that cool?
That's very cool. I know it. Mary Lou went to this. What was the name of this college in Morris, Minnesota?
Yeah,
they're also playing some music we wrote together. It's great.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. Yeah.
I love it. So there you are with the beautiful acoustic in your hands, and
so
what are you going to play for us?
I'm probably going to play this beautiful song called "Deeper Than Your Skin," if you don't mind. It's motivates. It's about self-value and self-esteem, and don't really listen to the lot of words but people say and throw around. We were talking about it shortly, about this song. So I'm gonna play this song. You showed a part of the video, but the song is still here. Okay, here we go. I see you hurting. Take a look inside you. It'll make you feel better again. You got the looks and you're smart. You got that sparkle in your heart. Yes, you're one of a kind. When some words just bring you down, take a look inside you. Your beauty goes deeper than your skin. That's where love begins. In your heart, you're so beautiful. Your beauty goes deeper than your skin. That life force from within. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. Words can be so cruel, make you feel kind of small and hurt your self-esteem. You go hiding into sadness. Some words that are spoken carelessly and for lack of sensitivity. Oh, when you're caught in the line of fire, when your world feels upside down, take a look inside you. Your beauty goes deeper than your skin. Life flows from within. In your heart, you're so beautiful. Your beauty goes deeper than your skin. That's where it all begins. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. Let's make faces at the mirror and laugh all the hurtful words away, because you're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. In your heart, you're so beautiful. You're beautiful. Deeper than your skin. Deeper than your skin. In your heart, you're so beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful.
That
We all are
song
beautiful.
is
We
beautiful.
all are beautiful. We have to
Yes.
accept that fact. We are
And,
beautiful.
and
Each one of us.
sometimes, and what I like is the fact that you say it several times in that song, because sometimes we don't hear it the first time. We're not convinced when we hear it the very first time. And you need to hear it several times for it to really sink in. And, each time you were saying it, it just was resonating deeper and deeper, I'm sure, for people. And really, really nice, really, really beautiful. What were you thinking about, the inspiration for that?
This inspiration was this was a girl. I was talking to her, and it's a sad story.
Yeah.
She it's a really intelligent, bright girl, good looking, but she's just hears all this, oh, you're not perfect, that, people tend to, point you out towards what you're not good at.
Yes,
And
versus
say, hey,
celebrating what you are.
yeah, what you have, and then we
Right.
talked, and I said, really? But we talked, and sort of I dug in, sort of kind of try to dig out what she was all about. I didn't really know her, but she opened up. So we were talking, and she's amazing person.
Beautiful inside and
It's
out.
just, yeah, beautiful inside and out, and and she has so much potential, but this insecurity which people sort of plant into you by bashing you with some kind of words, it's so destructive. It's so destructive. So I've got this line there, and I said, let's make faces at the mirror and laugh all the hurtful words away, which I actually do a lot of times. When I'm really not doing well, I stand in front of the mirror and make faces to myself. No, it's liberating, it's
You want to make one now? Let's make one now.
Yeah, man.
There, see?
It's fun. I think everybody should try doing that. If you're down, just go stand in front of the mirror, make faces.
Make faces.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm not good. I'm not good. Of course,
what are we
I'm
talking
good.
about?
What are you talking about? And then you can laugh.
That's the other thing. You got to I say it often. People know me and as being one of the leaders of the pack when it comes to, you got to have levity. You've got to definitely have ways to make people laugh, but also laugh at yourself, and just really look for those happy moments in life.
That's
right?
A very good point, Jim. The ability to actually be humorous to yourself. A lot of people don't have that. That's a nice thing to develop. If you can laugh at yourself, if you can tell jokes about yourself,
You realize you're actually
you-
pretty darn funny.
yeah, and you'll also realize that, it's everything's good.
Everything's okay.
Even
It's going to be okay.
even the awkward stuff you went through is just okay. It's
all right. You
perfectly okay.
survived it. You survived that.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. Nothing changed.
Right. The world didn't end. You're here, and
Yeah,
the sun is
and
shining, and the music's playing.
so people try laughing at yourself a little bit more. It's very therapeutical.
It really is.
We shouldn't take ourselves so seriously. I think.
Don't. I know. That's something I think that we learn over time, right? When we're coming right out of the gate, we tend to be more serious, people in general, because, we want to impress. We want to move up in life. We want to become experts, and we want to fine tune, and we want to be accepted and loved and respected and to please and connect. And then you realize all of those things are valuable and incredible and terrific, but you have to make sure that the number one person that you please and that you have respect for and that you impress is yourself first.
I'd like to tell you a little story about him. I mean, since we're talking, I was at school. I remember I used to get bullied. I was a nerd. I went under the radar in school. People didn't really notice me. Which
There's
is
another
okay.
phrase for it. You're an
You
empathetic thinker.
No, my motto later came. Somebody told me this. I was talking about that, and he said, "Okay, that's all right. You don't have to peak at school." I said, "Yeah, I don't have to peak at school, right?"
Yes.
So
right.
that's when I remember people used to bullies. Oh, school bullies. I think everybody knows that. And then somebody sort of throws things at you, and so my dad. He gave me so much
wisdom,
very simple wisdom. He said, "Sit down." What did this guy say? You're an idiot. You're useless. He said, "Are you? Do you think about that yourself?" No. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then why do you take what he says is more important than what you know about yourself? You're 24/7 with yourself. This guy sees you maybe for a couple of hours in school. He can't know you. Right. So you can tell him next time, that's your opinion. You don't know me. I know myself. Right. So you can throw that opinion at me, so that was very
or you can take time to get to know me. Right.
Yeah,
right.
You can take time. And that's also something which, when moving from India to Switzerland or to the States, there's always a little bit of, foreigner,
Sure.
Not racism, but
who's the new guy?
Yeah, who's the new guy? And then and people do tend to sort of judge you. Mm-hmm. And if you say, look, that's your opinion, you are absolutely fine with that. It's your opinion. I know myself. I live myself 24/7. So I know myself. I know my strengths and weaknesses. You can have your opinion, but they don't touch me. They don't touch me right. Because I know who I am.
You keep going forward, right? And those who
you are this and this. I said, no, I'm not this and this. This is what you think of me, but you don't know.
Right. Those who want to be the passengers on your train of life are welcome to hop on and go for the ride. Those who want to hop off at this next stop, feel free.
Feel free. Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, the people throw things at you to make you react to that. A lot of times,
yes, it's provoking
reaction. And if you just say, look, it's your opinion. You don't know me. I know myself. Right. I know it. It's fine. You can have your opinion. Mm-hmm. You can do whatever you want to.
Exactly. But so how did you grow from that? Was it your father's wisdom that got you to stop and think,
that really
create
helped me.
Confidence in yourself and that resilience?
Yes, that self-confidence came from that kind of thinking, that sort of shift in my way of taking sort of bullies. I didn't take on the bullies, but it just didn't get me. They still, try to bully us. But just didn't affect me anymore, the way it used to, so that really helped. So and that requires two things. Actually, it requires knowing your strengths. You have to indulge with yourself. You have to know your strengths, but you have to know your weaknesses as well. That's even more important. And be really honest, brutally honest about that. What are your weaknesses, and then you work on that. Or you say, okay, I can't go across that, so I need to work around it.
Yeah, right.
It was extremely helpful. These little things which I got in my childhood during school days really helped me sort of also helped me live in different places. It's not
And
that easy.
adapt
I came to Switzerland. Switzerland, everybody talks in German. Where I'm living, it's German. Swiss German is the language. I had no clue about German. The only thing I knew about German was Jawohl from the war movies. That's all.
That's it. And Volkswagen.
Volkswagen, yeah, exactly. Mercedes Benz, yeah.
Audi. What's amazing, what I think is incredible, and it always I find amazing is, and we always tend to think a lot of times of the British artists, how a lot of times, when you hear them on the radio or you've been growing up listening to them, how they're able to shift their voice to where they almost sound like they grew up in America or Canada. They just lose the total British sound, and all of a sudden you're shocked to learn that they came from England or from somewhere else. You have the ability to do that too. Any trace of accent anywhere disappears, and you sound like you could have come from Nashville.
Yes. I mean, I don't have the Indian accent. Indian English is a very specific accent. It's got, sir, I would like to talk in English with you. That's kind of Indian. That's what you say in India. That's how you talk. But I got rid of it. It's basically training. It's just talking. And I also I always try to, singing helped, listening to the music, singing helped enormously, this you can't sing those Beatles songs in an Indian accent.
You can try, but I mean,
you can try. No, don't do it.
Was there another song you wanted to share with us? Something that comes to mind at all?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, everybody's loving it. The comments are coming in from our Lovity audience too. Juanita says, "Wise words."
I love that name, that audience, Lovity. Oh man, that was probably
Lovity.
Strokes of geniuses.
It was just, I said amazing. When I created this series, born out of my professional television work here in the States, as I mentioned a couple of times, probably. I said that the show had a lot of light, love, and levity. Light, love, and levity, humor as well. Yeah. And no matter what the topic was, we always found ways to bring people together. And we've created this beautiful community of viewers who watch from around the world. And they very interactive, very supportive, and very sweet about their comments. And I said, it's, being from New York originally, we have, sometimes a fast speech pattern. So I said it a little too fast and then bursts out the word Lovity. And then that's when I said, they're the Lovity Squad. I'm Mr. Lovity. This is Lovity Hall. They are Lovities. The guests are part of the Lovity family. This is a whole thing of the Jim Masters Show live Lovity Hall. And it's been beautiful. And then I asked, so we spell it with keep the E in Lovity or take the E out so it's grammatically correct? And they said, keep the E. And you love that whole Lovity vibe, huh?
It's great. I think it's a stroke of genius. This is such a beautiful name for a tribe, for a group of people. It's great. I love it.
The Lovities.
Really great.
Yeah, the Lovities. That's what we're about here. And you're now one of them. They already said it. They said you're a Lovity already, AJ.
I'm a Lovity.
Say Merlin in Ontario, Canada says, AJ, you are a Lovity. So
Yes,
it's
I
official.
am.
So how does
I
it
am.
feel? I say this to all the guests. I say, there are Grammys and Tonys and Emmys and Tellys and Oscars and all of these incredible awards. But when you get designated a Lovety on the Jim Masters show live, how does that make you feel, AJ? Are your feet tingling right now?
Oh, I'm totally excited. I think it's a great way of calling somebody lovey. You're my lovey. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank you,
You're
sir.
beautiful.
You're
It's beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Lovety. Exactly.
it's beautiful. I
That's the
think
whole vibe.
it's so soft, warm, loving, lovey. It's beautiful. I
That's the
love
kind
it.
of vibe, with everything that we do on the show, because every episode is something different, unique. It isn't the same thing. And I wanted to definitely not just do videos or not just make it a podcast or not just, I do it like it's a television show because of my television
Yeah.
background, and warm and conversational and freestyle and inviting and interactive. And we can go in any direction. You have no idea the questions I'm going to ask or how we're going to flow. But I think it provides an authenticity and a warmth and a connectiveness that is unique, is different. And it isn't just in your face. All right, bump out. Tell us about the new CD, and you're gone. In this case, people are really learning about what makes AJ tick. Who is AJ as a man, as a person, as a human? So when they hear the music,
Oh
they'll
yeah. You can
appreciate it
relate.
on a deeper level. And
Yeah.
they're learning about the guests. They're learning about me, the host and producer, and they're learning about themselves as they're talking with one another and chat, as they're asking questions, as they're absorbing this. And I think that's such a unique, I'm very communal. I'm very about connecting and that thread. And that's very important to me. And when starting this series, that was a huge thing. I didn't want to just come on and just pontificate and just talk and do something that, doesn't have any depth or feeling to it. It had to have some depth and feeling in order for me to make this part of my already crazy busy schedule. It had to be something that really had depth to it and warmth. And having guests like you just really icing on the cake, because you're already that way, and you do it through your art, through your music.
It's great. I mean, I love these conversations, and I love talking. Conversations. You're a great listener, and you have the ability to actually start a conversation, start a new thread of a conversation. It's really beautiful. I feel so comfortable. It's like you sitting right there in front of me. It's like home. It's
It's like
beautiful.
we're
It's
having
it's
a
very it's so it's genius. It's great.
I
There's
appreciate that.
no that's not 1 inch of you know something about pressure or something else. There's nothing prepared. I didn't come with any expectations. um I have my background. I have things which I've done, and you've then done your research, which is really good. Not everybody does that. You've researched me. You know about me, which is amazing, because that helps. Bring the conversation forward. That I don't have to. You explain me in so well. That what do I have to say now?
I was going to say, you get a new appreciation of who you are
Yes.
through the
Wow.
conversation.
Yeah.
Well,
No, it's great. It's such a great I love conversations like
me
these.
too.
It's 101. If even if like a couple of people, these are like conversations where people throw in things, you listen, you talk, and you get things. I got a lot of things out of today's conversations already. That's that's
Yes.
that's that's the
Yeah.
beauty of the whole thing.
That's what it is. Well, you talked about the wisdom of your dad. My father also very wise and with a great sense of humor, and I've always listened to his wise words about life and people and connectivity and always, he's somebody that always roots for the underdog. So I root for the underdog. I
Yeah.
root for the one that is um maybe struggling or needs a hand or needs a lift or, needs a lifeline, I just automatically go to that for some reason. I always have, even as a kid. It's like a high level empathy,
Yeah.
understanding of people's plight and things of that nature. But one thing, and I've said it multiple times on this show, but I've said it for years before I ever started this show. My father has always said, my Irish English dad from New York, whenever anybody says something kind or nice to you, Jim, ask them to please put it in writing and address it management.
That's Irish going out there, right there, right?
Yeah.
That's Irish.
Yeah, that's
I got a couple of Irish friends.
That's that witty sort of dry humor. Yeah.
Yes, that's like,
doesn't matter what the management is, just address it management.
Just give it to me in writing.
Yes.
Let's double it up.
Let's double it up and send it to the top of the ivory tower, to the big folk in the sky. Exactly.
That's great.
That's all been passed down. I know it's and it's cool when we sort of key into that, as time goes on, key into some of those things we've heard, some of that sage advice, because we end up then through our work imparting it, hopefully positively on the world at large, which I think is a beautiful thing. What's the song that you were poised to share with us now, my friend?
I think this fits. I was just thinking, what shall I play? But I think we were talking about people, about social, social condition, people who live. So there's a song which Mary Lou and I wrote. What shall I say? It actually won a prize. It won the Artists Forum International Music Competition 2021 in New York. It's a New Yorker festival. So it won the first prize for indie singer-songwriter song. So this is a song called Stop the Shame. It's about, talking about underdogs,
Yeah.
and talking about people. We're fortunate, we've got everything. We can moan at a very high level.
Yes,
we have everything, but there are people who are underdogs, and they are there.
They have no voice.
They have struggles. But it's interesting when I go back to India, and I remember also when I lived there, a lot of poverty in India.
Yeah,
a lot of those poor people are extremely generous. They'll give you everything. They're so giving. It's got to always. I mean,
a lot of people who have nothing materialistically are some of the most beautiful givers.
Yeah,
they'll bake you something. They'll sew you something. They'll give you tomatoes from their garden, even if they need the tomatoes themselves. It's and those people, the light needs to shine on those people.
Yeah, I took a trip to Tibet. It's China. Tibet about 10 years back. Yeah, I think it was 2011. And it was a life-changing trip for me because, first of all, Tibet is totally unreal. Tibet is a plateau.
Yeah.
But the plateau is at 4,500 meters. What's that? It's like 2,000 meters or 3,000 yards. Feet, sorry.
Feet. Yeah, that's okay.
Feet, 3,000 feet. It's like flat. And then at the back, and there are no trees there. There are no bushes. There's nothing, because nothing grows there. It's too high, And you at the back in the horizon, you see mountains, huge Himalaya mountains. It's just amazing. It's
breathtaking.
It's breathtaking. It's surreal.
Yeah.
And you got these really, really poor yak farmers. They've got a couple of yaks, these are crazy animals. Totally. And once the yaks go running, you just go out of the way.
Yeah. Yakety yak.
Yak. That's my label is called Yakety Yak Music.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I tell you I'm also very intuitive.
Okay. And that's there. The people are so generous. We
Yeah.
stopped over. They don't have anything. They've got 2 yaks and a couple of goats, and they have the whole
they're
family. The whole
yeah.
family there, and they give. You sit down, they give you food, and they offer you yak milk, and everything they have. So it's amazing, and this song is about about the pain and the shame
Yeah.
we keep feeling, and still so it's hard for us to come out of
To be able to,
come out of ourselves and
yeah.
accept things. I mean, it's hard to make changes, but at least you can change yourself.
Exactly
Sort of,
right.
and move your mind and your thoughts and your heart in a
Yeah.
different direction. So this song is called "Stop the Shame." It's
I gotta
also on Talking Loud.
I gotta tell you, this is such a pleasure, yakking with you today.
Yeah, yakking with me. That's a good one.
I always look for the line. My mind is always going. Look for
I
the line.
remember we were walking, and then suddenly somebody shouted, "Yak, yak, yak!"
Yeah.
Get out of the way.
Yeah,
These
here they
animals
come.
gonna
Here they come.
stampede, Here they
Yeah.
come. Okay.
That's it. Here we go.
Is there a way we could stop the shame we're feeling every day? If there's a way I could ease the pain you're feeling day to day. In the city's cold at night, holding back the things that we should say. Pass the fortune forward, filling up the hats that beg for change. Take away the hunger. Tell me why it always feels so strange. Talking about another human, not much different than you and me. Is there a way we could stop the shame we're feeling every day? Out in the alleyways, it's loneliness that keeps us company. After all the years we spent, still don't know that nothing comes for free. Pass the fortune forward, filling up the hearts that beg for change. Take away the hunger. Tell me why it always feels so strange. Talking about another human, not so different than you and me. Is there a way we could stop the shame we're feeling every day? There's so many questions, and the answers there are clear, but we don't look, we just walk away. Down on the streets, there are voices we don't hear, but they're loud enough to carry us away. Pass the fortune forward, filling up the hats that beg for change. Take away the hunger. Tell me why it always feels so strange. Talking about another human, not so different than you and me. Is there a way we could stop the shame we're feeling every day? Is there a way I could ease the pain you're feeling day to day? Ease the pain you're feeling every day. stop the shame we're feeling day to day.
Really nice. Really, really beautiful. You know, when you perform, you obviously, you can tell you sort of go off into another sphere. What happens to you when you're performing?
Oh,
Are you very immersed? Are you
yeah,
transported to another time and place and space?
totally, totally. It's a lot of pictures, images, which run performing. Even when you perform, when I perform alone, it's just saying. It's there's so
Yeah.
much,
Yeah.
there's so much which comes back, which came into the song, or which opens up because of the song. That's another thing which happens when you write a song. You start looking at things, and, things appear more clear to you, which weren't that clear before. So there's a lot of things, a lot of images, a lot of memories, a lot of perspectives which sort of shifted when before I wrote the song and after, when I performed the song. It's amazing what comes out. That's why I love singing and performing. It's so gratifying for me, and it's also for me. It's a very emotional experience, and I love performing for myself. It can be two people. I remember it during the lockdown.
Hey,
I couldn't perform, so I told my girlfriend, look, I'll go out in the garden and perform for two, her and our dog. So I
hey.
sat there, took everything out, took an amp out and the PA, and I started singing songs. And suddenly the whole neighborhood, the windows opened, and people were out there. So out of that one time sort of
See, yeah.
concert, the tour became sort of a series, and during the summer on
See what
2020.
happens? Yeah, which is fantastic. But you really do love performance, don't you?
Yes, I love performing live. Yeah,
And you
it's
mentioned there's some of that that is coming up. It's starting to resurrect now that things are getting a little bit better,
yes.
sort of.
Yes, actually, my next concert is on the 8th of April, which is sort of the unofficial album release party. We're gonna sort of slip it into the concert because the album is coming out in Switzerland. It's coming out on the 25th of March, the physical album.
Does Roger Federer know about this?
I've texted him. He hasn't answered yet.
That would be cool, huh?
You know what would be cool if Sir James Galloway comes and plays
Oh,
it.
yes.
I,
Yes.
I have to tell you this story.
I believe they're watching too from Switzerland because
It's
they're in
kind of,
Lucerne, like you said, just
yeah, he's
up
in
the road
Lucerne.
from you.
Yeah, he's in Lucerne. It's
Yeah.
it's a little, I was young with the first band in Switzerland, Main Street, which was pretty successful in Europe. We were trying to get, collaborate with different musicians. We did collaborate with a lot of musicians back then as well. So one day we had, hey man, we got to get some flute, who's a good flute player? And said, the bass player, hey, James Galloway lives here.
Sir James Galloway, yes.
He wasn't Sir back then. He
Right.
was, it was like early 80s.
Yes.
So we said, hey, let's go and talk to him. A little band, local band back then. We weren't really famous. It was just our first album, in the making. And we do knock at Sir James Galloway's door, and and he was so kind to us. He was so kind to us. He didn't say, "No, come on." He was so kind to us, and he gently, said, "Sorry, I'm not going to do that," which is understandable. It's just, we were young.
Yeah.
We were young. We just didn't think about these things. Just, hey, let's ask him.
You just go knock on his door.
Yeah, we did. We actually rang his doorbell. He came to the door, and we said, "Would you come and play?" And he was so kind, so sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great musician. I mean, it's just
legend.
it's
Yeah.
amazing. And
Absolutely.
the way he treated us, we were two of us there, the bass player and me. and he was so gentle, saying no to us. It was
In
so
a very gentle,
very gentle way.
with that Irish brogue.
Yeah, yeah. It was very, very sweet. So that's my story of Sir James Galway.
Isn't that beautiful? That's
Yeah.
really cool. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
we were like that when we were growing up. We used to go ask people to play, because I grew up jamming with people. That's how I learned to play, and that's how we used to stand in front of, watch bands. We stand in the front row, watching every note, guitar lick this guitarist is playing, and sort of, transforming back to our guitars at home, and asking people, to jam with us, or asking people if we could jam with them. So that's how I started and making music, and started learning how to play guitar, and sort of got the influences and the licks as well in my world. We didn't have YouTube.
There was none of that. No, you
None
were
of that.
pounding the pavement.
Yes, we had to actually look, and see, oh wow, what's he doing? Oh wow, okay, let's transform it back, the other way around, and see, oh, okay, that works. Oh,
And
that
then-
doesn't work. Okay,
And then to get them to hear it, you had to go to their house and knock on their front door.
yeah, and say, hey,
Here,
man,
listen
how
to this,
did you-
please.
you played that. I'm trying to fix this. What am I doing wrong?
Right.
Oh, you're doing this. Okay, okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's how I started making music, by jamming with people.
Look at this guy here.
That's the first album. That's got a song of mine, which, I'm not a fast writer.
Yeah.
It takes a long
You
time.
think, you take time.
For a song to ripen. And but there's a song on this album. It's a beautiful song. It's called Rise and Shine.
Hmm.
A lot of my listeners have said, Dave, that's the song they actually wake up to every day, which really,
They rise and shine to that.
they rise and shine to my song. And this song has a beautiful story, because Rise and Shine, I wrote, it's for my son. My son was 7 years old back then, and he was going to school, early school. And so the first verse is, go to school, learn everything, just, soak up everything, and rise and shine. That was like the message, And I wanted to finish it, but the second verse never came. It never came.
Really?
Yeah. So I had to put the song aside. I mean, there were ideas, but they just didn't gel. I didn't like them. So I put this aside, and then, like, when he turned 17 or 16, 17, and we had our first, like, teenage-ish dad
Mhm.
son issues, that's when the second verse came.
Yeah.
And I finished the song
Yeah.
after 10 years.
Makes me think of Frank Sinatra. When I was 17, it was a very good year.
Yeah. It was interesting that it's like that second verse came. when we
Yeah,
had,
just
that
came
thing.
along. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, it's amazing. how
Because
things-
nothing really matters. That's why.
That's also a beautiful song.
That's another
Yeah.
great one too.
it's a
We got
great
some
song.
other images here.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Oh, yeah.
great? Yeah.
The Math of Silence. Yeah. That's the one about John Lennon. This is the one I just sang, remember?
Yes.
Not
And there's
ashamed.
again,
Yeah.
International Music Competition, Indie Singer-Songwriter 2021 winner.
Yes.
Really, really
Yeah.
fantastic.
I'm very proud of that.
And you box and ship your own CDs yourself, I guess, huh?
No. That's that's not. No, I have a distribution which does that. So you guys can buy the CDs and all the online platforms, physical CDs as well.
You're on Spotify as well.
I'm on Spotify. Yeah.
Spotify,
I'm on
iTunes,
Apple Music, iTunes,
Apple,
Amazon.
Amazon, and of course your website too.
Yeah. If you want to get a CD, physical CD, it's always the better quality. Always, you can
Yes, I
buy it
still
in all
like
the stores
CDs.
on Amazon and all the stores. Big
Like if
stores.
I get an MP3 or download, I still like the backup of the CD. I
Yes.
mean, some I actually have the digital copy. I have the CD. I have the vinyl, and maybe even the cassette.
No,
All of it.
yeah, I never got into collecting cassettes, official music.
I used to record a lot of the music
Yes,
off
yes,
the
yeah.
radio.
Mixtapes.
Before I went into radio and television, I
Yeah.
used to record. And now I pull some of that stuff out, and I still have the
Mhm.
double cassette decks, and I still have
So do
the.
I. I've got a
You've
double
got it all
cassette.
back there. The
Yeah, yeah, I've got a
boombox.
Yamaha double.
Yes, I have the Onkyo, and I
Yeah,
still have the receiver and the turntable,
yeah.
and the big
So do I.
KLH speakers.
Mhm.
Because when I hear music, I like music, and I've mentioned it on the show before, but I really love music that fills the room
Yeah,
versus music that's forced in earbuds into my
mm,
ear.
yeah.
I like it bouncing off the walls. I like it
Oh, yeah,
coming from behind
yeah,
me and flowing around me from the larger speakers. I like to hear the bass, the depth, the warmth, the nuances of it. And I like it sweeping through rooms and sort
yeah,
of coming at me from different directions other than just having it shoved in the ear,
yeah.
with
You're
a
just like me. I love listening. Just sit down on one of the
and let
rocking
it fill
chairs.
the room, right?
Yeah, fill the room. Fill
Yeah,
the room.
let it fill the room. So
Yeah,
you're loving the ride. You're this is continues to be an extraordinary AJ ride, and you're
oh, yeah.
learning about yourself even more as you produce more and more of this fantastic music. And again, the latest is Talking Loud, gang. Make sure you get that. And but even though that this just came out, you already have other, you said, material
Yeah.
that's
I got 4 albums.
it's
The
on its
first
way
one is
too.
yeah. I got 4 albums as a solo artist. The first one is A Matter of Time. I talked about that song, Rise and Shine. And the second one is Come See Conquer. That's an Americana EP. It's got 4 songs. It's a beautiful album. And then was 93 with Nothing Really Matters. It's a beautiful album. Then Little Boat. And now Talking Loud.
Mm, that is incredible. And I love it. It's really great stuff. This was really a pleasure, my friend. Honor and a pleasure to break bread with you here, sort of virtually. Hopefully, we'll break bread and pour some wine in real life, either there in Switzerland,
Oh,
or
yeah.
if you're here in the States, we'll definitely have to do that. Somebody that was here that always pops in towards the latter part, just wanted to say he had a good time, is Mr. George Burns.
Ah, Mr. George Burns.
Everybody
Oh,
waits for him, yes, to appear on the show.
man.
He absolutely loved it. He has his
He's got a
cigar.
cigar there as
He's got a
well.
cigar and
Yeah.
his hanky. He's always dressed to the nines on the Jim
Yes.
Masters show.
Yeah.
And he said that you were amazing. He loved the music. He loved the stories. He loved the vibe. And
Oh,
again, he lived to 100. So, and he
oh.
played God in the movies. So you got God on your side as much as you have
Yes, I
George
got
Burns.
that. Great. Great. I loved it. I love George Burns.
Oh, he was the
He's
best,
great.
right? Comedian,
He's got
actor,
he's
legend.
got that most dry sense of humor, but
Yes,
explosive sense of humor. You just can't help it. It's just
absolutely.
amazing.
Want to show you some of the incredible
Oh, wow.
levity coming in from our levity
Wow.
viewers on the Jim
Thank
Masters Show
you.
Live.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for joining us this afternoon. Enjoyed listening to you and your music. Good luck in all your future endeavors. That's coming from the United States, from Kansas, from
You, Sherry.
Sherry Larson. These are some of our real faithful levities. And then we have folks who watch quietly, who don't comment. And then we have folks who watch this in the replay and
Thank
enjoy
you.
it later on when it's not live, these episodes, and they'll comment on the YouTube channel. Matter of fact, we encourage folks, if you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Over 620, 30, 40 episodes we've done and counting, and bringing you all this great conversation and entertainment. Jen Barry's in Allentown, Pennsylvania, says, AJ, thank you for spending time with us. Fun today.
Thank
And Gary's asking, are you able to sign CDs bought from the website? If they buy them from your website directly, I wonder if there's anything about signed CDs.
I can send you a signed CD if you buy
Oh, that's
from
cool.
my website. Sure.
Sherry Larson says, congratulations on the win last year.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes.
It was the ice. Put the icing on the
That was the
2021 cake. It
icing.
was great. It was like end of December.
Yes, you're still riding high on it.
Yeah.
Merlin says she's in Ontario, Canada. Thanks, AJ. Loved having you here. Stay safe. And Juanita in
Thank you,
South
Marlon.
Africa says great conversation, beautiful music. Thank you, AJ, for spending time with
Thank-
us
thank
as
you.
well. Kathleen in New York City. Thank you for being here, AJ, and thank you for your music. Good luck in all you
Thank
do.
you.
My friend, this was really fantastic. Again, folks can go to the website, ajmathur.com. And again, Amazon, Spotify,
Everywhere.
iTunes, so everywhere that you can find music. Thanks for gracing us with your presence, your music, your story. We'll keep the porch light on for you. Spread the word about our series. Other folks you might
I
think
will.
would like to
Definitely.
pop on as guests. They're all welcome. Everybody takes a village. Everybody tells everybody about it. And enjoyed all this time. Would you believe we chatted for 2 hours?
Wow.
Didn't feel like it, right? Everybody says it
Didn't feel
doesn't
like that.
feel
No.
2
No.
hours. Yeah.
No. Not at
Yeah.
all.
What time is it
Wow.
there now? It's 9:00? Around
Yeah.
9 p.m.?
It's
Yeah.
it's 9:05. Yeah.
9:05. It's about 4:05
Who
here.
cares?
So yeah,
It just went like this,
it just went by in a New York minute, as we say.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's right.
This was an honor and a pleasure. And let's definitely stay in touch, AJ. This was really
Yes.
wonderful. I appreciate everybody that reached out to us and put us together. I know you're a fan of our series, a fan of our show, so we appreciate you wanting to come on. We loved having you here, and you're welcome back anytime. Hope the show met whatever expectations you had and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I absolutely have with you and with all of our JMS lovities.
I loved it. Thanks for having me, Jim. It was pleasure. It was a beautiful conversation. It's like I've known you forever. It's great. It's great. You're an awesome person, and all the lovities. I love that. Lovities.
That's it.
Oh,
The lovities. Everybody needs more lovity, right?
yes, everybody needs love. It is
All around the world. Absolutely, my friend. You're the best. This was really a pleasure. And I wish you all the blessings and joys of life. Keep making that music for us, my friend. And we'll have you back again soon. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. You have good time. And thanks for having me, Jim.
You're very, very welcome. You take care. Now I say to all the guests, go stretch those legs. Get the circulation going again.
2 hours. My God. It didn't feel like it.
No, just rolls, right? Just
Yeah.
rolls. I know. It's the way it is. And we just let it roll. We say to the guests as well as the viewers, we don't put a time clock on it. It's so enjoyable. These are really historic and beautiful conversations and episodes of our series. And if a guest can only be here for 45 minutes, we do 45 minutes, an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, however long, we just let it roll. Sherry Larson says our lovely crew are the absolute best.
Yes.
And hearts and kisses from Sherry in
Sherry.
Kansas, USA. Good stuff, AJ. You knocked it out of the park. And George Burns and I say thanks for being with us, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Cheers, my friend.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
Goodbye.
Ajay Mathur is here on the show. Truly amazing conversation, huh? Music and levity and everything we can throw at you, which we like to do here on the Jim Master Show Live. Thanks for all the activity, gang. You guys are on fire. I'm looking at more of these comments coming in. You guys are just amazing. As always, we toast all of you, kind, generous, supportive you who love what we're doing here on the Jim Master Show Live, and you guys are always celebrating it, and we thank you for that. It's always beautiful when you guys celebrate our series in the way that you do. And again, you can see over 600 plus episodes of the Jim Master Show Live right here on our YouTube channel. Be sure and give it a subscribe. We do thank Grammy-nominated, internationally acclaimed singer, songwriter, musician, and all-around good guy with a good heart, Ajay Mathur, here on the show. He was absolutely amazing, and you're going to love it. If you get his music, Ajay Mathur is an amazing person. His music has lots of great depth to it, as you can see and hear. There you go. Good stuff. Really fantastic conversation. And the fact that my college radio station plays it too, back in college in New York, they're playing it on their public radio station. Love it. And again, if you knew of him, now you've learned a little bit more about this internationally acclaimed artist who has been doing this for decades. This is not something new for him. He's been doing it. He's worked with some of the best in the business, and he loves it. Thank you, Jim. Great show. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, everyone. Hugs, Kathleen in New York. These are all the live viewers that are watching live. One of the bestest from Merlin in Ontario, Canada. Thank you, Jim, for another fantastic show and wonderful conversation, wonderful afternoon, all of the above. My pleasure. Jen Barry says, fun show today. Thank you very much, Jen. We appreciate that as well. And want to let you know, amazing guests coming up. Tomorrow, we are back live at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And we've got an extraordinary guest. We have playwright, director, actor, and producer, children's book author, Jack G. Hyman. He's incredible. He's responsible for that PBS Kids series, Bloopy's Buddies, and lots of great, fantastic material in on Broadway and off-Broadway and film and television and music and all of the above. He's a multitasker extraordinaire. He's going to be with us tomorrow. Got some really cool things for you tomorrow. Then coming up on Tuesday, veteran actor, comedian, dancer. He danced in MAME with Lucille Ball. He's worked with Jerry Seinfeld, Bob Newhart. He was on the Bob Newhart, the classic TV series, The Bob Newhart Show. He did the voice of Donald Duck in certain scenarios. He's Little Quacky in Tom and Jerry. He's a veteran cartoon voiceover artist. He's also a brilliant dancer. Has been in major movies, motion pictures. Veteran actor Sam Quasman joins us live and direct from Hollywood on Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Then we have world-renowned mentalist, author, and TV personality, the amazing Kreskin, is joining us on Wednesday live from New York City. He is extraordinary, another legend in the industry. You're going to love him. Check that out. And coming up soon on March 28th, the Beehive Queen, acclaimed singer-songwriter from the Saturday Night Live SNL band. She's been with them as a vocalist for years. Christine Ullman is joining us here on the show, which is very special and very cool. Yep, when you see that, you know you're going to have a good time on the Jim Masters Show, entertainment, lifestyle, talk show series. Again, we'd love it if you subscribe to Jim Masters TV. That would be fantastic. And also make sure you click that notification bell so you never miss any of the amazing episodes. And give this episode a like and leave a comment for us as well. We would love that, gang. Don't forget to smile, as we always say. Don't forget to find your Zen place. I love the ocean. That's one of the Zen places for me, as well as my career in television, radio, stage, and film over the years. Also Zen. Don't forget to share that JMS Lovity that we talk about. Yeah, it's not Pollyanna. It's not idealistic. It's kind of cool, isn't it? And good stuff, gang. Juanita says, another great guest. Thanks, Jim. My pleasure. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you very much. You're all terrific. We love you all. The Lovities watching all around the world. Thank you so much for joining us here on this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series. Stay tuned. We've got more great guests coming up, more entertainment, more of lots of coolness coming your way. One more thanks to Ajay Mathur. He's absolutely amazing and Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter extraordinaire. Talking Loud is the latest album. Check it out. You're going to love it. You got a chance to hear some of his story today on the Jim Masters Show Live. Thanks for joining us, everybody. You guys take care. Be well. Whatever you're doing the rest of your day, just enjoy yourself. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And those of you who are watching later on in the replay in the archives, leave a comment for us. We appreciate you being here as well. And we think you guys are the very, very best. We've got quite an audience here, don't we? A community of faithful lovadies. And I think that's really cool. It's exceeded my expectations as well, gang. All right. I'm not going to talk for the rest of the day. Do you believe that? Actually, I'm going to say very minimal. I think I've said enough today. I think I'll wait until the next show. Actually, I'm on the air tomorrow on the radio. We've got 3 radio shows. Then I got a bunch of scripts to write for television. We've got a TV shoot in the afternoon. And then we'll be back with you here live on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, for another episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. Thanks, gang, from all around the world for all the love you're showing our series. You guys mean the world to us. We really appreciate it. We'll see you again soon on the next episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. Take care, be well, love one another, and cheers.